The main objective of this lesson is to teach you financial mathematics. Please do not panic. Financial mathematics is not some complicated concept that is not related to your day-to-day life, okay? I'm sure by now you have actually come across financial mathematics. For example, if at some point in your life you decided to buy clothes on account and that account earned interest, some form of financial mathematics was involved then. If you had opened the account while equipped with financial mathematics skills, you would have really evaluated the account terms and decided whether it was good or bad for you to actually open that account. Okay. If you decide to buy a car, you are going to use financial mathematics to determine how much money in total that you're going to pay to that lender or to the bank. Therefore, these examples illustrate how important financial mathematics is in your day-to-day life. I'm happy that you are now here because at the end of this module, you will be equipped with the skills that are going to help you determine whether you are being robbed by the bank or whether you are taking deals that are really not fair to you. Okay, but don't worry about that. The starting point when studying financial mathematics is understanding the term interest. Okay, what do you understand about this term? I'm going to pause for 30 seconds to give you enough time to think about it. Okay. Okay. So my 30 seconds is up. If that was two, I don't know. In the simplest form, interest is the fee that you pay to use someone else's money. Okay. That's the fee that you pay to use someone else's money. For example, if I borrow you 1,000 to use today and expect you to pay me back that 1,000 at the end of the month, you are going to pay a fee to use my money. Let's say, for example, if you know these people called loan sharks, they always go for 50%. They will give you 100 Rand today and expect you to pay 150 Rand at the end of the month. Okay, so that's how they work. This 50 Rand here is what we call interest. Okay, so this is the fee that you pay to use the 100 Rand. Okay, so interest in the simplest form is the fee that you pay to use someone else's money. If you take money from the bank, you're going to pay interest. So that's the fee that you're going to pay to use the bank's money. If you take your own money and save it in an account and then say this is an investment, the bank is going to pay you money because they are going to take your money and lend it to other people. So they are going to give you to pay a fee for using your own money. Okay. So interest is the core of financial mathematics. So what we can take from this example here is that if I borrow someone money, we regard the money as principal, okay? It's called the principal amount. And we are going to denote it using P, okay? So the principal amount is the money that I borrowed someone. And if this money earns interest, I expect that after some time, I'm going to get my principal amount plus interest. So the interest, we are going to represent it using I, okay? So your principal plus interest is going to give me something that we call the future value, okay? Or the accumulated sum. You can call it future value or accumulated sum, okay? Based on this example here, I told you that loan sharks charge 50% of whatever they loaned you, and then they expect that you're going to pay 150 if they give you 100 Rand. And this 150 is expected at the end of the month. What happens if you don't pay at the end of the month? Okay, so what loan sharks do is that if you don't pay at the end of the month, let's say after month 1, you owe the loan shark 150 but fail to pay. They are going to charge you 50% of this if you're going to pay in month 2. Okay, so this is month 1, this is month 2. So 50% of 150, it's 75. That means if you pay after 2 months, you are no longer going to pay 150, you're going to pay 225. Okay, so now you're going to owe them this much. As you can see from this example, it means there is a relationship between time and the money that you're going to pay, or time and the interest end. Okay, in terms of financial mathematics, we have established that there is such a relationship, and it is represented like this. We say the interest is calculated by taking the principal amount, then the interest rate, and then time in years. Okay, so from this equation here, this interest rate here is in decimal. When you are given questions, you'll be given an annual interest rate. For example, they'll say it earns 10% per annum. When you are given information like this tells you that this money is in percent form. You have to convert this to its decimal form before you can substitute back into this equation here. For example, to convert from percentages to decimal, you simply divide by 100. So instead of writing this 10 here, you're going to write 10 divided by 100. This is going to give you 0.1. Okay, as you continue doing financial mathematics calculations, you'll simply do this by head. For example, if they say 11% divided by 100, you will know that this is the same as 0.11. If they say 9%, you'll know that this is going to be the same as 0.09, and so on. So sometimes as we proceed, I'm not going to show you this calculation here because I'll assume that you know how to do them by head. Okay, so 5% is going to be 5 divided by 100. This is going to be 0.05, and so on. So in some of the calculations, I'm just going to convert the percentages into its decimal form without really showing this calculation here. Okay, I hope we all understand each other. Okay, so now that we know how to calculate interest, we need to remember that the future value or the accumulated sum. So this one can be denoted as F, or you can just use A. Okay, in DSC1630, they are using A instead of F. In QMI 1500, they are using S instead of A or F. So this depends on the module that you are dealing with. So you might see in some modules we are going to use S, in some modules we are going to use A, but it's rarely F. Okay, so in this module we are going to use A to represent the future value or the accumulated sum. So whenever you see A, just know that it's the accumulated sum. Okay, so instead of writing it like this, we are going to write it like this: P plus I. Okay, so now that we know that the accumulated sum is supposed to be the money that we invested plus the interest that we earned, and we know that the interest that we earned is represented by PRT. Okay, so if we were to substitute this here, we'll have P. This P comes from this one here, and then instead of writing this I here, we are going to write all of this. Okay, so it's going to be PRT. Okay, in terms of mathematics, if you know how to factorize, you can simply take out this P. If you take out the P here, you'll be left with 1. Okay, then you'll have P outside, then P multiplied by 1, we are going to get P. Okay, and in this case, we are going to take out this P since it's a common factor. This is the same P, and then we are going to be left with RT. Okay, RT. Okay, so this is the equation that you are going to use to deal with simple interest. This way of calculating interest is what is known as simple interest. Okay, so whenever you hear the term simple interest, it simply means that your interest is calculated based on the principal amount like we did here. Okay. So let us look at examples where we are going to use this formula. Okay. I'm going to take the examples from your assignments.